Hi, I've got blinding sun in my eyes. Let's hope my video looks all right. I feel very blessed to be present. There's different ways of becoming present. Meditation is a tool, a key to actually show you where your mind keeps going, so that you're aware of thinking, you're aware of patterns, you're aware of not being present. So when you awaken to that, it's immense, because most people are asleep to that and then completely controlled by the mind. They don't mean to be, but the mind is an addiction. You know, we own those thoughts, and then suddenly they're real, and then they've been real for years, so then you don't question it, so that becomes normal. And it's so not normal, because when you step back from these silly thinking patterns and things we've believed or reactions, then you just see the falsity of it, you know, the non-truth. And that then opens you up to then what is truth. If thinking's not real, well then what is real? And I love that question. So anyway, meditation shows us that. And whatever meditation you take on board or are doing, it becomes the tool. It's not the way, it's a tool, one of many. And some are more easy and effortless to apply. Some might be a little bit more complicated or take a bit more attention to different details. You know, sitting postures, breathing techniques, maybe things around you, you know, music, listening to different sound waves. You know, there's all kinds of ways, looking at a candle. But whatever path or tool you use, what it's doing is showing you your thinking patterns. That's what it should be doing. And then you're able to step back from it, see the thinking patterns as objective, and then you start to become curious about what's subjective. You know, that's basically the way of most meditations, I would assume. I'm not pretending to be a know-it-all, because I don't. I absolutely do not know too many other meditation practices except my own, of which I love, and I believe is very, very simple and very direct and works. So I've been doing my meditation practice for over 25 years, and the life changes in me were so much that I became a monk to this teaching. You know, it wasn't just like I practice it, I actually am a part of this teaching and this movement. And what that gives me is immense devotion, which I never had before, commitment, which I never had before either, you know, with no back door, like there's no out, my own choice. And by being committed to something so 100%, it means that you're kind of like all in, so there's just like no doubt. And which is really cool too, because you see that voice, you know, the doubt voice, and then you get to just not listen to that one. So where am I going with all this? The practice of meditation gets you on your journey of seeing what the mind is, so that you realize you're not that. And then by seeing that you're not that, you start to become aware of what you are. And now that's where the gold starts. So meditation is not a journey of what you're not. It starts off that way, but it really should be a discovery of what you are. And when the mind isn't you, when you realize that, there's just this infinite presence, and you start to recognize more of that. So now we've changed attention from the mind, which you're not, to the presence, which you are. And that's really cool, because then suddenly you're filling your day up with presence. Now, why would that be something you want to do? Because if you're ever yearn to know your life's path, or live your divine purpose, know God, live your highest potential as a human, know your highest self. I mean, there's so many ways of putting this. Enlightenment. I don't know, the truth. Then this presence, which is untouched, untampered with, eternally pure, complete purity, because there's no comparison and no context to it, no concept, no ideas. So there's nothing kind of like locking it, blocking it, holding it. It just is this isness of now, pure and complete, eternal, and yet here. So it's timeless, absolutely timeless, and boundless too. It's everywhere. And most people miss it because, you start thinking again, and then you identify with the thoughts, and then where is this eternal presence? It's no longer recognized. And so then it becomes this thing that we hope to achieve one day, in the future. So we now go back into time. And we, once again, instead of embodying and experiencing this eternal presence of who we are, we start looking for it. The me, the concept of a me, starts looking, doing something for it in time. Soon I'll find it. And so we're completely back into the mind again and all the ideas associated with that. Isn't that fascinating? And just how wrong that is. But we all do it and we don't mean to. And that's definitely a very common practice or way of a lot of spiritual people or religious people, that they're looking for God. They're hoping to connect one day. It's fascinating what we do as a collective human society, putting everything into the future and the idea that soon we're going to get it. And even as subtle as that could be, or as massive as that could be, the ideas block us, stop us. And meditation shows us the ideas. We use our meditation tool to see that. And then we rest into that experience and then dissolve into that experience, live that experience of presence. And there's nothing like it, guys. It's worth everything. And it's not hard. It's just something to do, something to play with, something to look at, something to be aware of. And then suddenly life changes and this awareness is constant. This pure presence is constant. Anyway, that's what I've got for now. Yay.